how do you get people's attention in real estate? Pretty simple. Nice looking homes. That's the key to all of this. Now, once you get these homes, you have to go to Canva to use certain grids or frames to make them look nice and even more appealing by marketing multiple different images, maybe at the same time. And we'll show you how that works too. And then from there, how do you capture their information? Well, that's cultivating, or it's part of the cultivating process, because if you can't capture the information right away, then maybe you got to do something different to capture that information. So you got to keep cultivating those leads by doing more value-based things to get their attention, considering more videos, more ads. And that's what you want to think about. And we talk about all this stuff throughout the training, but this is a great time for you to kind of see how Facebook Marketplace works. And we'll jump in right here and kind of show you as quickly as I can how to make this all make sense. And you can see an actual farm to funnel process, whether it's farming a neighborhood or farming a niche. That's basically it. So in this case, we're going to talk about, maybe a rent to own process. All right. So starting right here, we're going to be looking at Facebook Marketplace, as I said, and the first images are going to be like homes in San Antonio. So we want to start with that. If you don't know where to find this site, it's in your MLS, bottom right, new home sources, or new home source professional. Click that link, set up your own site, and you'll have your own site exactly like this to market new builds. For me, it's a great place to go to pull down homes because I don't want to have to get permission from someone to use their images. These homes are already ready to rock and roll. And they obviously have given us permission to market them. They gave us a whole site to do it. So once you have an entire site to do these things, I can come on here and I can look and I know if I want to market something a little different for each community, I can actually use, like it says, consumer promo. Please log in to view. I can take the 5.9% financing plus up to $20,000 in flex savings. There's other things that are attached to that based on what the asterisk says. So we just have to know what that is. It might be here, but I'm not going to jump into that. Just kind of giving you some background on how this site can be a lot more useful than we think, because you can use a lot of the images, a lot of the stuff that's going on when you want to market differently, because one of the ads you might want to put in Facebook Marketplace may include this. Right now, we're going to focus on the rent to own. And so what I would do is I would take this image and I would just right click, save image as. Actually, let's back up so I can do this the way that I would keep people's attention, right? So I'm not even sure if this is the name of the floor plan. I think it is. So that's the name of the floor plan. I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to go in and right click on this image. Right click, save image as. That's fine, but I'm going to create a folder. And in that folder, I'm going to paste the name. Double click on the folder now, and then save that image. Then I'm just going to click on the next image, right click on that one, save image as. And if you want to speed up, you just hit the enter button, or you can just click save. But you're going to keep doing that until you get some pretty quality pictures. Some that you can market on Facebook, and it will look like a home that you've listed, right? And that's kind of the whole concept here. So if you've done this and you get at least 5 to 10 images, I may stop at 6 or 7 here. I think that could be a different look to the same home. Don't know, but since it's in here, I'm gonna use it. But that's the beauty of doing new builds, and also knowing that when you post on Facebook, you want a lot of different images to get people's attention for different reasons. And so we're going to do that. I'm going to skip that one, didn't see how that's going to work. I like this one. Save that. I think I'm going to go for one more, see if it's something that stands out on the inside. Interesting look. Bedrooms are always nice. And this one happens to have all the upgrades. So I'm going to stop there. But now you've seen how I save the images. And if you want to go into Canva, if you don't have a Canva account, make sure you get one. And then you see how these images are set up here, right? So the question is going to be, how do I get this frame or grid? So it's actually a grid. You click see all and see which ones will make the most sense. So if you look at this one, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures on the outside, so a total of 6. And it's obviously in here somewhere, right? So we want to see, there's the one with 3. There's one with 1 on the top, 1 mid-size, and 2 over here. This is a little different. Looks like that is very close, but it's not the right one. So again, you're just going to keep looking until you find the one that matches what you're looking for. There's another one here that's the opposite of that one, and for the sake of time, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 6 images, which is okay with me. And so what I'll do for here is I'm just going to duplicate this because I might want to use these pictures at different times, so I don't want to get rid of them completely. But actually, you can just use the grid in here if you do what I just did. You can take the images, you can duplicate it, take the images out, and then just now you have to go upload these images. So that's one way. If you want to use a different grid, then I just showed you where to find them. You basically just go to elements, find the grid. Now we want to go to uploads because we have pictures that we want to use from that house. And you go to upload files. We know we saved it under desktop. Odessa was the name of the folder. Let's see if it saved it here or somewhere just in the folder. Well, it's over here on the side, so I'm just going to go ahead and take advantage of that. Click the first image, hit Control A, hit Enter, and it should load up all those images for me. And then I can just take the ones I like and post them in here. You just want to drag and drop. Sometimes the backyards really get people's attention, so I'm going to just give it a shot. Then I'm going to put another image over here. Sometimes the issue is it's hard to get the right sizing if you don't pick the right images, right? So that one looks like it fits. That one may be too big, so I'm going to take that one out. Delete the image, not the grid. The bedroom, definitely going to put that in there. This one's going to go in there. Don't know if that'll fit, but hey, it looks good enough to me. So let's see if there's one other image I could use. Don't know how well that'll work. I think I like the other image a little better, so I'm gonna try this one. Okay, or maybe it was the other one. We'll go with that. This is for demonstration purposes. So now you have that image available with Canva. You just want to share, download. Make sure you get the right image. So if it says page 5, I just click on here. I unclick here, and it'll say current page. So I only want to download that image. It should be a PNG, and I only want that one. And you're gonna have to name it. So I'm gonna put Odessa. So once you click the download, it'll download that one image for you. If you downloaded all the images on here, it will do a compressed zip file, and you'd have to uncompress them or however you want to state that. But here's a copy of the carousel image. It's a PNG. I'm going to put it right there where it belongs. And now, when I go to my Facebook, I have that image right where I want it. I have the individual pictures where I want them. Even if I want to just load those individual pictures, you don't have to use a frame. You could just go straight from the site to your Facebook marketplace. Go here and make sure you follow these steps. You create new listing. From new listing, do item for sale, not listings unless you actually have an actual listing. Then you can put a home for sale or rent that you actually have as a listing. Otherwise, go items for sale. It gets a little bit better results, and you don't want to put yourself in an issue where it might be compliance related for stating that you have listed something that you don't really have access to because it's not your listing. Now you can get permission and get all the writing, everything in writing, all that could work. But what we're going to do is basically take the photos that we have and add them in here. So as you see, it keeps opening right where I want it. But I put this one photo in there. That could work. And I might create a second ad and add all the individual photos using the exact same language that you're going to pull from one of these ads. So in this case, I might say, rent to own, because for whatever reason, rent to own happens to get really good results. And so when I do that, the title in the playbook, it'll tell you pretty straightforward what language to use. So you just read through the playbook. As you're going through the playbook, you plug in where it says plug in title, you plug in what it says for title. This playbook happens to say, do you have a 550 minimum credit score? So then it says 0 for the price. So we go 0 for the price. Then it says category miscellaneous. So we're going to go to the miscellaneous category. Then it says what condition. Obviously, this is a program that we're trying to advertise about. Someone has 550 minimum credit score. And then we're going to copy directly from the playbook the language that's going to go in here. And once you've done that, you can paste it, and you're pretty much halfway done, if not more. So the description goes in here directly from the playbook. Looks like it's kind of formatted already, so I don't have to do a whole lot there. Could you do something a little bit different with these? Yeah, you could put some bullets in here if you wanted. Even dashes, because if it's too cluttered and there's no way for people to know what exactly it is, you can put emojis in here and little checks. That would be okay. But you could also just do dashes so people know that there are bullets here. So that'll serve as bullets for now. You scroll down. You're asking for their name, phone number, and email. I'm going to put those together as well. And then the rest of the message makes sense. It all looks good. You got your phone number, email, your group. All that stuff is in there. Call to action, what you want them to do. And you're good to go. Now you hit next. Make sure the location's where you want it. Hit next again. And then you get to pick a bunch of different groups. So if I click here, that's almost 100,000 people in just those two groups. And I'm trying to find groups that I think individuals who have homes to sell or would likely want to buy. A lot of times the garage sales indicate someone might be moving or looking to move. So those are some decent ones. But again, you just want to go through and pick the ones you think would make the most sense. Yard sales, again, apartments, lofts, townhomes, could potentially have people that are looking to sell a house. New Braunfels, San Marcos, and Kyle, 98,000 members, almost 100,000 people in that one group. So we'll just go to that, hit publish, and the ad is pretty much good to go. So once the ad is done, that's the first part of the funnel. We just campaigned. We just ran a campaign to get people's attention who might be wanting to rent to own. So once we get their attention, a lot of times I'll say call out the audience or call out their need. So if you call out the audience, it would be, hey, renters, hey, San Antonio renters, get as specific as possible. You could say, hey, San Antonio renters, do you have a minimum credit score? And that be the entire title. Then from there, this new rent-to-own program is now available in the San Antonio area. Apply today and get an exclusive list of homes that qualify for this program. Boom. These are the qualifications. They read through that. There's a little call to action. Then we can send you this, this, and this. You put this information. There's a new path to home ownership, et cetera, et cetera. They go for this. They fill out the information, or maybe they reach out and call you directly. Don't know, but it tells you Facebook Marketplace. They've already got this set up and ready to go out to all those groups you have mentioned. And then the next step is obviously to wait for the people to come in and respond to this ad. That's going to happen in Messenger. When that happens in Messenger, then you want to have a way to capture these leads. And I've already recorded the other video that shows you exactly how to capture leads using the Listings to Leads tool. Now, the final piece to that is if you're using the Listings to Leads tool, there's also a place where once the leads come in, using that tool, using that landing page, it'll automatically add them to an email follow-up campaign that'll go for almost 2/3 of the year, probably around 8 months if you set it up for 7 days. It defaults to 3 or 4, but we're going to set it up for 7. And then from there, that's the full funnel. It literally goes from your Facebook ad, and you can just consider this an ad. Once the ad is complete and people respond to the ad and they say, hey, I want more information. Once they respond, and it's going to end up in Messenger, that's the second part where you've got their interest. You got their attention. Now you have interest and they're saying, hey, I want more information. So now you figure out a way to capture that information. Campaign, capture, cultivate. Now, how do we cultivate? Part of the capturing and cultivating happen at the same time if you're going to your listings to leads account. Why? Because if you go to your listings to leads account, what you're going to notice is the landing pages will offer value. And if you're offering people value before you ask for anything from them, they're much more likely to work with you. So offer value, show that you're a resource, and then make an offer of your services. So if you tell them, hey, check out my guide, if you need any additional help with anything that might prevent you from getting pre-approved. So we're already talking about rent-to-own guides or rent-to-own. So we know it's a rent-to-own campaign. We know that we've already got their information, or we've already got their interest and their attention, and they're just waiting in Messenger for us to do something else to keep their interest. So we look at our rent-to-own guide. We click here, click on landing page. And like I said, there's another video on that. And you can see that's literally what they're going to do. They're going to click there. Now, the other piece is once they fill out that form, it's going to end up here in follow-ups. Now, once it ends up here in follow-ups, you just need to make sure these are turned on. And then when a buyer lead comes in, it's going to automatically get added here. And you're going to see all the messages you're going to receive. And like I said, you'd have to go into settings, adjust it so that it does 7 days instead of every 3 days. And then you have now seen the complete funnel. From setting up the ad through a campaign, capturing their information through a landing page. Once they put their information in the landing page, you've captured it. Now you have to cultivate it. How are you going to cultivate it? With follow-up messages and email, text, whatever means you have. But this works really well because you at least have a funnel that's going to cover you for the next 8 months. Every lead you pick up is going to have some contact for 8 months. And you can choose to call, set up text messages, text them, whatever else it is you want to do outside of this system. If you have another system that will set up the text portion for you, I would highly advise that you do that. So you can go into integrations here. And if you go to profile and you're trying to figure out like, well, this only does email, what else can I do? Well, you can integrate with another platform that'll do the texting for you. So my company's with Lofty, with LPT. So we go to Lofty and connect it directly here. I would probably only do campaigns that have text messages in them so that this campaign can reach out and do the emailing for me, keep in touch with my database for me with emails that are going to go out once a week. And then I use my text messages to try to hit them hard and upfront and try to get them to commit to working with me. So that's when I get to the point where I'm going to try to set the appointment either through text or phone call. And once I go on the appointment, I'm going to coach them on how to make offers and all the other processes we're going to talk about throughout this training. But I think this is the first thing we're going to do that will show you exactly how funnels work. I just explained it to you from start to finish. But this concept is the easiest way to show you exactly how funnels work from start to finish. And that way I know as we go through the rest of the training, that's all you're trying to do is duplicate this farming to follow-up funnel where you're going from campaign to capture to cultivate to close in as many different ways as possible. I call these all campaigns, marketing strategies, marketing campaigns. If you run a Facebook ad marketing campaign or a Facebook marketplace marketing campaign, all of them are marketing campaigns. And so that's how I describe it. So when you're hearing me talk about all the different methodologies for capturing leads and obviously cultivating them and then closing, it starts with a campaign. All right, we'll wrap it up here, and we'll see you in the next video.